Hello guys, welcome back. I'm gonna start streaming in 2 minutes. Let me just get myself some more coffee first. I think I might start a minute early, because I have no idea what I should be talking about in 1 minute and 45 seconds without showing you anything. That would be kind of silly. So, let's just get going. Hello. Welcome back, Erdo. And I think I saw Code Optimist as well, so welcome. Yesterday evening, I streamed a little bit about. I want to look at the Huxlib's logbooks. So when people upload a log, an output log from Rimworld with Huxlib, it all goes to this GitHub account, this gist account. Let me just pull that up so I can show you. Hopefully it actually works this time. That's the record keeper. And this is just one of them, but there are hundreds, if not thousands, tens of thousands. I have no idea how many there are. I think there are enough that GitHub reliably crashes when you try to open it. Yeah. It's taking way too long to load. Sorry about that. It cannot load the front page anymore, apparently. Because this happened last night as well. I don't think GitHub has technical issues taking that long. That's kind of funny, to be honest. We broke the internet. Anyway, the point is, the API still works, so we don't really care about the graphical user interface. We can download these, and we can get a bunch of information from them. So first of all, we can see which people have which mods active, and we can see which patches each mod makes, and we can get some information maybe from the actual output logs, from stuff like this. Most of it will be absolutely useless, but there are a couple of things that we can look. Like if we look for exception, then we probably get some stack traces. So we might be able to find some stack traces and then see, like, okay, which assemblies are involved in those stack traces, and can we link them back to particular mods? That should be possible theoretically, and then we can maybe look at, okay, we can highlight mods that might have issues at some point, or something like that. This is all very sketchy, because if there's an error in one mod, it doesn't mean that it has to give an error there. It might just cause errors in different mods, and there's lots of ifs and buts about that. But either way, it'd be cool to just have a go at it. Similarly, for some XML errors, sometimes you can just see there's a missing class, or a particular class isn't loading, and if that is a specific class that is also included in a modded assembly, then again, you can perhaps say something about that. For now, we were working yesterday until rather late on creating a grammar to automatically extract the timestamp from a log. Let's go back to the top. The timestamp from it, so that's rather simple. It's just this bit. The actual mods that are loaded with a list of an assembly for each mod, and the patches that are active in all of those mods. And that kind of works. We just need to test it a little bit on actual mods, because there's probably a few characters that I've missed, or a few special cases that we need to have a look at. Right. So I guess that's more or less the goal for now, for this afternoon, is to get the parser working, get all of the mods out and the patches. We'll ignore the rest of the output log for now. Dump that in a database, and get a basic app, like a web interface running, which allows people to get an overview of, like, you can search for a vanilla method, and then you can see what patches that method. That's what I want to do now first. That should be fairly doable today. And then we can build from that. So then we can start looking at making pages for individual mods and their popularity over time, and the versions of that mod, and whatever. There's lots of stuff we can do, but let's start simple. Let's get something that is actually useful. So we have a couple of test output looks that we downloaded yesterday. So these are actually all from yesterday. That should be enough to get some basic testing going on whether or not our parser actually works. I would like to have a nice and small output log. This is no, that includes combat extended. That is not small anymore. Only a few mods and only a few patches. This is nice. This is I can work with this. There's another one using 1.202 of Harmony Erdelf. This JPT open the windows. Never heard of it, but yeah, it's entirely possible. It doesn't necessarily have to be your stuff as well. It's just copied somewhere and then people just take it from there instead of from the official releases. Although I swear there was a release for this at some point. Well, there isn't a release for it anymore, but maybe there's still a tag for it. No, there's also no tag for it anymore. Oh well. We had an online interactive playground for the for playing around with the grammars yesterday. So let's see if we can find that again. Where are you? There we go. So this is, I actually remembered what we ended up with. That's nice. And this is, that was like our first test thingy. It's giant, so let's get rid of it for now. Okay, so this is not going to work because there's extra stuff behind there. So basically we now need to tell it that, okay, you're allowed to have whatever from that point onwards. So let's add a token for content. Oh, what happened there? We'll deal with the actual content of content later. Content is started by saying actually let's do the Harmony versions present as well separately. We're not going to use that either for now, but at least we'll have it separate. That starts with the string Harmony versions present. And then it has a string and it ends with a break. Or a line break, basically. Then we also have platform information. platform information in a string. Same kind of thing. And then we have the content, and the content is a little bit special. We already had it there. Log file contents. This will have a break line. And then it will have one or more entry. I'm just calling it an entry for now because I don't particularly like actually this can also be 0 entries. An entry is one or more lines. I don't need to specifically say what a line is. I can just say string break. Theoretically, I think that should work. I mean, clearly it doesn't. Yeah, but wait, this is important because it is one or more strings, and then it does have an extra break afterwards. Because there's always a double line break after each entry in the log file. All right, something is not working. That's always the best part of this. If we get rid of all of this and all of the harmony stuff, does it work? No. Just gonna split it up into little parts and see if I can do it like that. Oop, wrong button. We need these special things everywhere. This is just a little bit of setup, but I want to make it easier to test stuff so that I can work a little bit faster when this is done. It is, what I just deleted here is kind of cool actually. You can quite easily make a calculator with this, which is nice, funny. Alright, the mods part should now work. Okay, that does work. This is the patches part. I'm guessing it's gonna fill in here then. It kind of has to, because otherwise it should have filled before. So that one works. That was a single patch. We don't expect that to work right now. Let's just get rid of these tests. And we want to see, does this entire thing work? Yeah, not like that. It does not. So if I just go over this quickly, I am not immediately seeing where this would fail. Like, I'm not seeing any special characters in this or something. So I guess we'll just go through them one by one. Right, that one works. Well, let's get rid of half of them. Interesting. So that half works. That half works. Problem is in this bit. I'm still not seeing it. Problem is in this bit. Is anybody seeing it yet? There's no comma there. I was under the impression that there had to be a comma there. Apparently not. Well, that complicates matters. Because then apparently this is allowed to be either a comma and a space, or just a space. And then that works. Yeah, so then on the root setup for quick playtons, we've got the one patch. And on section layer, lightning overlay regenerate, we've got a pre and a postfix. All right. So if we go back in here, I'm afraid that this is going to cause multiple parsings to be possible. But we'll find out soon enough. Anyway, it's now parsing this entire thing, which is brilliant. It's parsing 31 patches. Out of only 3 mods. Yay, 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 yay. So many patches. Alright, let's whittle this down a bit so it's not so massive. And try and add in the rest of what a log file looks like. Harmony, platform, and I was hoping beyond hope that it would just work there. I mean, this should really be a very simple one. Let's Um, all right. Didn't expect that one to fill. We have platform, same thing. If that fills, I would be very surprised. Well, let's put it in here. Okay. And then we have the content. For some reason my cursor isn't showing up sometimes. So that's why I keep clicking to get focus. And then, so this is the log file contents. There's no space there, which is a start. There's a break line, then there's an entry. An entry has a string with an enter multiple times and then an extra enter. So this whole thing should be counting as an entry. But let's simplify it. This should count as an entry, but it doesn't. So what if we just say that an entry is a string? Oops. Well, come on, that should work. Yeah, but a string with an enter at the end, because otherwise there's too many possible options. Okay, that works. Has two parsings for some reason, but not sure why that has two parsings. Alright, one of my entries, I want this to be a string plus line break, one or more times, and then a final line break. Okay. Maybe I'm doing this the wrong way around. What if I say that there has to be a line break at the front? Because otherwise I won't catch the last one. Because the last one won't have a double line break. It'll just have a single line break. And then I can remove this one. Ooh. Why do I now have so many parsings? let's just quickly get rid of that stuff. So we're only interested in the contents. That still leaves us with 2 parsing. So at least some of the parsing ambiguity is in this stuff, but that seems very unlikely. Am I? Ugh, I'm zoomed in. Let's clear up the output a little bit so that it makes a little bit more sense and we can look at what the parse tree gives us. So we want to return an object here with lines. No, we don't need to, do we? Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Not really. So this is the second element, and in that it is the first one. Yeah? Any luck, Erdolf? Sure. Are you properly escaping the square brackets and stuff? I assume you are, but just to be sure. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I like the grammar, because you can kind of do the same things with regexes, regular expressions. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, that's not fun anymore. Don't even have any clue what that is supposed to be. Wow. No, nope, 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 nope. You can achieve the same things, generally speaking. Probably a little bit more with this side of things, because you have access to like the JavaScript to do the processors and stuff. There's a couple of custom features that I'm not even using. It's like when you should accept stuff and not. You can also have that be a function output. But it just also keeps everything a little bit clearer, because you can create distinct subunits and just use them as you do like production rules and stuff, which I think is a lot easier in the end. Anyway. Which is square brackets with content, then round, then normal text, then square, then round again, colon text, a new line. Alright. Sure. We just want to return an object this time with D1. Alright, it's still too nested. hack our way to it. Yay! Alright, let's try a bigger log file. So this is more like what you'd actually see. Thousands upon thousands of errors. Awesome. Oh. Wait. But you were doing so great. Oh, come on. I guess it's just not, like it's still trying to parse it and that's taking too long or something. I don't know. This website isn't really built for massive pieces of text, I get the feeling. Still, it's useful. More or less. Why are you infinitely recursing on me? This shouldn't be that hard. Oh, because you're apparently completely arbitrary. Yeah, string can be anything. Perhaps maybe I should make that a little bit more restrictive. So I want anything except new lines. I don't like this one bit. Because now I will have to like do all of the specials. That's just silly. Can I use like the... What's it? Normally you have like the white space, like this is white space in regex, and then this is not white space or something, right? Apparently not. More syntax tips and tricks. Oh, here, not the letter. Oh, I can use this one. That's helpful. And is this the expanded Bachmann-Neuer form or something? I always forget what it stands for. Or extended Bacchus-Nauer, almost. Accept. Yeah, but it doesn't use. It only uses those particular symbols, so that the link to the ABNF is kind of. It's only those three operators, which is nice, but not entirely what you're looking for. Alright, anyway, we know what the accept operator is now. So hopefully we can work with that. I keep forgetting that I'm in a website. Something appears to have happened, but not really, apparently. Okay. So can we do... No? It's worth a shot. Like, why is it allowing all of these to be separate entries? They shouldn't be. There's only one break line in between there. Because I'm flattening at the wrong point, I think. Oh, that's certainly not working. Kind of curious what the format of that thing normally is. Okay, so it does need to enter at the beginning of the sentence. It still has a bunch of formats, so now it's... Yeah, this is kind of what I expected. So these are the individual lines, and then these are the entries. But why is it giving me that? Because it's also apparently allowing this one to be one entry. What? Or stopping after command line arguments. Where's that? Here. Yeah, that's where it should be stopping. It should have 4 entries. So this is the correct parsing, really. I don't want to have to like inclusively list all characters that are allowed, but I think I may have to. Okay, so specials are allowed. Well, let's keep the spaces out of it. Let's do the spaces first. We allow a space. We allow a tab. That's basically it. there's something with non-breaking spaces in there or something, I'm going to cry anyway, so. Our specials that we allow is the actual backslash. How is this parsing? Suddenly. Oh, why it's still on that one. I want a string to be I'm not even sure how I'm. Oh yeah, no, I am. No, I was thinking, how do I all put them all in like that a string is a combination of characters or something? But I can just say that a character is alphabet or number or white space or special. And then a string is just one or more characters. And I just really want to test if a string is working now. So go away. Nope. Unexpected word token as because it has to be like that. Undefined symbol special used. I don't like that this is. I know this doesn't matter at all, but it bothers me. There you go. Theoretically, that should work. And this shouldn't have an enter, and then, yes, that actually works. Goody. These are going to be line breaks, so let's get rid of those. And add them as separate things. And we can just see when they become active, they're fixed. Alright, specials. Let's have punctuation. We allow a period, a semicolon, a colon, semicolon, comma. Comma can just be that, I think. Apparently not. Do also need to allow it in there. Alright, that does work. Semicolons work, colons work. Move them there, that all works just fine. And the period also works. Extra stuff doesn't yet work. Good. Let's go over this. We can have that one, 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 that one. Whoop-de-doo. Huh. Didn't expect parentheses to work, to be honest. Okay. Then the question is, why are you not working yet? Or you, for that matter. Alright, let's add those. that one is working now. That's a start. I mean, this bit is working, right? No. Why the hell not? Underscores. Valid regular expression. Range out of order in character class. I'm guessing I need to escape some of these. No. You. Yeah, you. Minus work now equals plus, and stuff that is not allowed to work that we haven't set up yet is a question mark, for example. That's a question mark. We have colons and semicolons, yep. Let's add all of those in there. I am absolutely sure we'll find some others that are not working. But let's expand this to all entries now. First. So an entry, this should now work, theoretically. So an entry starts with an enter and ends with an enter, and then gives an infinite loop. Why though? A line is a string break. An entry is a break with multiple lines. Okay. I think this is our main problem. We allow a break to be multiple breaks, which is why it allows us to have 3 breaks in a row, because it can be either this break here or the break on a line can just be 2 breaks and then it goes wrong. So these need to be single breaks. Alright, so now break, the capital break is still allowed to have multiple ones, and the single break is not. It's only allowed to have one. Everything else suddenly broke down again, which I'm not sure why that happened. Slightly annoying me. I guess I expect that to fail. That's good. What if I make this optional? Then we get 3 lines. It's not what I want. Okay. 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 Maybe? I'm going to have to do so much follow-up on this, on like when we try to parse logs, and so many of the logs are just not going to work. It's going to be horrendous. What is your problem? You don't actually have these added yet. Apparently that's still not it. There we go. Yeah, a bunch of cross refs, whatever. Okay. Let's see if we can find some other stuff, more cross refs, things. Let's do some of this. This looks like it's a little bit more intense. This has even more enters. We'll find out what it does. I'm afraid it's going to break. Yeah. think the problem here is that we have an extra line break in between for some reason. So I think one of these, this one, can be the capital break. Yeah, because that's only counted once, so that's only at the beginning and not at the end. So you shouldn't be able to get like 1,000 million parsings with that. We should probably just see if that actually, in a smaller scale test, if that solves the problem. That was apparently not the problem. There was a problem though, right? Yeah. Okay. Somewhere in here, the problem lies. Russian shit. Is that it? Do I need to explicitly add Russian? Please, no. Okay, that's a non-starter. We need a way to find like all special characters, because I'm not going to do this for many different languages. Just open up a bunch of... You know, I haven't missed this somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, doing maths is easy, dude. Yeah. You shouldn't be rejecting matches. How could you profit with your error logs? That is a good question. I should probably add a question mark behind that, because I have no idea. It's more a saying kind of thing, you know? Clickbait titles everywhere. Yep. Sorry, guilty. So valid regex char sets, but they just mean this shit, right? Yeah, but I know the whole problem is that I'm trying to avoid using a dot, because as far as I am aware, a dot matches a line break. But I did have some other issues. Well, you can make a profit from everything as long as you're good enough. No, wait, why is it not getting back what I wanted to get back? Alright, there's Russian in here somewhere. Give me the Russian again. Russian, there we go. Oh, for fuck's sake. So I guess this was our problem, that it was allowing multiple lines, and it didn't actually have anything to do with allowing line breaks in the period. So this whole thing was wasted. I'm annoyed. I am very annoyed. Alright, well that makes things easier though. That's good at least. Let's get a bigger log again. This is plenty big. And that actually seems to have parsed. With only one parsing. By the way, it's Doomday. Welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. Okay, this looks alright. I'm happy with this. Yeah, it's got the stack traces in it and everything. We can work with this. I do want to collapse the lines back into a single object per entry. I cannot believe I just spent half an hour figuring out the damn... Annoyed. So I want to join these with a line break in between. It's getting really sluggish, I guess, because it's on every change it's trying to parse the entire damn thing. Possible infinite loop detected. No, 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 no. You don't get to do this now. No. You're not allowed to suddenly stop working again. That is not okay. Good boy. Yeah, and now we've got it nice and... Yeah, that's... Why is it not inserting those? I don't really care. This is working. Close enough. Theoretically, that should mean that if we insert that stuff for content... we can now do a whole log. We need to change the... Yeah, I was gonna say, because you don't know what bear is anymore. return nothing. Returning undefined is also silly. Okay. The time, mods, patches, and we can even get the entries now. That's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. So this will be our grammar now. At some point we'll need to add some production rules or some post processors to this, the platform information and Harmony. There's not too much useful information in there anyway, so I'm not too bothered about it. This is a minor shame, but who cares? We need to compile this. And we're in the parser, our grammar is here and our source is here. So this one is old, let's say nearly compile, out in source grammars.js, and our input is source. Actually, parser. Now we can do the compilation. Okay. There is like a test command, so I can just run it on a text file, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I guess it's nearly test. Okay. Okay. So I think I'm terrible at this, but we should be able to use source grammar JS, and then we can pipe stuff into there. I always forget how this works, but let's give it a try anyway. Fetcher data, and then any of these data files, I really don't care. Is that gonna work? Did something. Appears to have worked. Because it's actually talking about something that's in that file. So let's pull up the file. I used 05AD. 05AD. Is it the only one? I think so. So on line 7, sometimes rates go wrong. This is where it choked. and we don't really know why. Let's go back to our parser playground. And this is only going to be the first part. So we just want timestamp mods. Oh, did I just? And we need an enter behind it. Okay. Okay, so it likes it up to there. It's just the Rainbow Flambe's mod that it doesn't like. I guess it has the thingy in it. Thingy-ningy. You'd kind of guess that that's not an allowed character in a DLL name, but apparently it is. I'm pretty sure that's our problem. So let's take that one and put it in the mods category. Yeah. And if we just call it one mod. Yeah, still nothing. If we look at assemblies, yeah, still nothing. And we look at a single assembly. And it's still nothing. So we've got the name and then the version. And I think in the name part it's already going wrong. Yeah, because it's allowing all of this stuff. So what if for name we just say this is a string? It's still not picking up on it. That's interesting. Is that really what I think it is? No. Okay, so is it the version part that is failing? Oh, wait, infinite loop. Oops. That is a string though, right? At least. Apparently not. Yeah, I hadn't entered too much in there. Sometimes forget when I am and am not allowed to do this. So this will have some sort of version. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the problem is that it's now capturing way too much. Wait, no, that's just because I'm saying that this is a possible assembly. But I think it might now have more than one possible parsing. Yeah. Yeah. What if we just explicitly allow that one in the name bit and go back to using a name? Now we've broken it completely again? Oh, come on. Starting to get slightly on my nerves. Let's allow those at least. I think we should be allowing everything now, so I'm not sure why it's not. I'd say that's allowed to be a string. Just want to test if you're a name. Are you a valid name? And you should be as soon as I add that character. But you're not. Because I also have to add a space. Okay, so we're not allowed to use semicolons. That's useful, because that's at least something that we know then we can use as a separator, basically. I'm starting to think that actually maybe a regular expression might be more useful here. But we can, or should be able to say, don't use that one. Everything except semicolons. All right. So that's a name. It doesn't help us for this part though. For fuck's sake. So yeah, we have two possible parsings again now. Because we have one where the two are taken separately, and we have one where it combines it into one damn thing. And I can't use any of these characters because these are all valid name characters. Can't use a comma, can't use a space, Can't use the parentheses. Yeah, the dot worked, but I'm running into the next problem again. No, and it doesn't matter if I change the order on them or something. Do you think we can assume that nobody uses parentheses in their whatchamacallit? Assembly names? Assembly file names? I'm running into a wall here and it's annoying me. I may have to ask. Yeah, the patches started to work. I was throwing some full output logs at it, and then it started throwing errors for Rainbow's Rational Romance, and then for some reason I ended up looking at assemblies again. I'm not entirely sure how that happened. Well, I know how that happened because I started using string for names. The problem with that is that it allows too much. Okay, so if I say that a name can consist of anything except the semicolon and the parentheses, and also these types of parentheses, then maybe we can get somewhere. Don't like this. But at least it's sort of working there. So let's see if we can make it work here. Recreate the grammar and we'll redo the test. On the patches, it's trying to do a map. And then a flat. Is flat just not a function in at all? It is, right? We tried that before. I do think. It is not. Apparently that's a browser thing. Okay. So basically we need to update our node. Is that what you're telling me? No idea, but I mean this is talking about version 8, so it should have been there. Well, this is just a V8 engine, so maybe it's... Oh yeah, wow, I'm way behind. Okay, well let's try to see 12.14. I think I have NVM installed, right? Yeah. NVM install 12.14.1. So NVM is Node version manager for Windows in this case. There's also an NVM for different platforms, mostly Linux, but this is the specific one for Windows. It used to be broken for a while, but apparently it's now working again, which is great because it makes it much easier to handle upgrading and using different versions of Node. Alright. Now, hopefully, this will work. Oh, so close. Really? Really? Have to do that again? npm global. Install global. Almost. At some point I'll get there. No! Now I've installed the package global again. I'm pretty sure that global was actually a thing. Maybe I'm thinking of Yarn. Either way... Well, that's not useful. I swear I'm normally faster at this. Gee, there's no global there. Okay. I think that also works. Yeah, and that's given that set up the symlinks to the packages that we wanted to use. That one. Well, we're getting a little bit further. Okay, so now the problem is that in transpilers, it's not expecting to find square brackets. That should be easy enough to fix. Yeah, one little step at a time. I mean, it's gotten through all of the mods and assemblies now, for at least for this particular what do you call it? This particular log file. So that's a pretty giant step, to be honest. I'm happy with that. Looking at a patch is an operator method, and a method is just specifically not allowed to use those things. So we can change that quite easily. Now you are. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, that I'm now just not sure if I'm doing this incorrectly or if the syntax highlighting is incorrect. But I'm pretty sure the syntax highlighting is just not great for this this Nearly plugin. Have to go back to the compile. So much node stuff. There we go. Compile. Do the test again. Okay. Yeah. So a method is allowed to have that, like the grave character in it, or is that the grave? I always forget. Sure. This is combat extended. I recognize that by now. Ooh, it's taking a long time. That's good, right? It's taking way too long. No, this is taking unacceptably long. This is running out of memory. God damn it. And this isn't particularly interesting, but we can see that it was trying to do a post-process function, and which is where it failed. It is possible. Which one were we doing again? 05. That is just we shouldn't be trying to do all of the log. I mean, that isn't even that big. I mean, this is 10,000 lines. That shouldn't be giving JavaScript a heart attack. We just cut off the post-processing for the content for now. So we'll just leave that be. And the content just return, like on each entry, just return zilch. Still want to know what happens if you do this. Like, does it then just not return anything? Or is it so now it should be parsing it, but not spitting everything out. Hopefully. It could also just be that it's just building a giant parse tree, and this is just not what it's meant for, and then it's just taking too long. Yeah. So it's complaining about a very long string. This is a different error message than we got before, I think, but You know what? I'm gonna pre-process them. I'm just going to get rid of everything past the patches for now. Then we don't have to worry about it too much. Which means I can't test it with this anymore unless I edit the log files. So let's create a little script to do it for us. I don't like having to do this because this basically means that I have to use regular expressions to cut the script in half, or the thing. But and I think it's just choking on giant files. Which is a shame, because it shouldn't be. But oh well. We will import we're just importing the grammar here actually. Grammar from grammar, and that has some stuff. I have done this before, but let's quickly go over it again. How do I use it in an app? Using a parser. Yeah, there you go. You need to require nearly as well. That makes sense. Which does mean that we need to add nearly locally. No, the parser adds nearly. Am I going to? Nah, let's use npm. See if it's gotten any better. Seems to be quicker than it used to be. Alright. Let's be consistent in that. Let's see if we can find some types for you. And we could. That is useful. We're going to have a function here. Function parse log is going to be a giant string. We're going to cut off the second part. These are the mods, these are the patches. PRs2. There we go. So we want everything up to Harmony versions present. Extract useful info. I'm just gonna call it that, or no. Mods and patches. Don't like it. Doesn't have to be pretty. We're going to have to use regular expressions here. I was pretty sure they were called RE, but maybe I'm confused with something else. Is it regex? I don't need to have a package for this. This is nonsense. This is in the base. Maybe I don't need the package at all. I guess not, it's just in JavaScript. Split pattern. Yeah. And just return the first one. This is probably going to fail at some point, but we'll find out soon enough. Let's now is extract log. Right. This is a start. Don't need that one. Import fs from fs. Actually, let's use modernize fs so that we can use promises on our file system, which is terribly useful. npm. And add the declarations for that as well. Let's find away this file, and the path to these files is we're going up, up. No, not another up. Yes, another up, and then we're going into Huxley log fetcher data, and then we'll use one of these copy path. Copy path. Can I copy the relative path? Does that actually work? No. You keep that one though. That should do the trick. This is ATF8, just to be certain. Alright, we've got the file, and then we want to just quickly see if this little part is working. So return mods, sure. Log parse file. Can't use this anymore. Might as well clear it. We need TypeScript. Alrighty then, now it's going to complain that this doesn't have typings, which is incredibly annoying. Is there a quick fix for that? Yeah, remove the import. I think we're gonna have to be a little bit more lenient in which errors TypeScript gives us. So let's disable strict mode. I normally don't like doing this, but I don't particularly feel like fighting TypeScript over over like the definition files for the grammar right now. Dist, and our root directory is source. Goody, no errors. We're watching that. Node dist next. Ooh, synced other. I think I'm going one directory up too much. Okay. That seems to be working. I don't know what the pluses are doing here. Okay, sure, whatever. Why is that still a promise? Because parse is an async function, even though it really doesn't need to be at the moment. But okay, that's fine. It's extracted the part we wanted without anything else, and it still kept the new line behind it. So theoretically, we should be able to parse this. Okay, parser equals nearly parser new nearly parser, I think. And yeah, then we need to put the grammar in there. And then it's parser feed. And that will just be mods. And then parser finish. And feed doesn't give anything, right? Yeah, I can chain it. That ought to work, theoretically. I'm very nervous about this. It cannot find module grammar because that is not in the right location. That makes perfect sense. Because I was compiling it to the source folder for some reason. So let's just move that over to dist. Imports immer for grammar. No. Non-zero extra cuts. No, you were so close. You have an unexpected minus. Yeah, sure. I will allow it. Because you were indeed not allowed to have that. I don't think we should be having that normally. But sure, and I do think I need to escape that one. Let's compile that again. Out is going to be dist grammar.js, and our input is source grammar nearly. It is working. Working oh so well. I want to test one thing because I just realized that the parser, like the test parser thing, throws a giant amount of information to the console normally, like the entire fucking parse tree. So it's entirely possible that it was just trying to build that parse tree with all of its stuff, and that was actually what failed and not the actual parsing. So I'm just quickly going to re-enable all of the extra stuff. So that was Harmony platform content. And see if it still works. Then I do need to stop it from splitting it up. Nah, that's still taking very long, so I have a sneaky suspicion that's still going to fail on us. Well, we are now doing it within Node ourselves. Yeah, that's still failing. So we could just throw more memory at it. Easily. Whereas with the test function, I wouldn't even know where to start. There's probably an option to pass on options to Node or something. But I don't think that's a viable solution really, because I mean, then you're just gonna need even more memory for larger log files. Because I mean, this is just a random selection of log files, but some log files can go into the hundreds of megabytes theoretically. Which means that I don't think this is going to be feasible. That's a shame, but oh well. We'll use regular expression for the other stuff. So we were we're removing those three. Let's update that one. Try that again. Oh wow, now you're not working again? Oh yeah, of course, because I'm throwing the whole thing at you. Parse file. Yeah. What's patches? And this is going to be our first parse tree, if any. Well, nice try. Yeah, okay. So there's a ton of patches, there's a ton of mods in there. Awesome, great, that's working. Okay, so quick recap. We are able to fetch logs. We're able to parse at least the initial information that we want to get out of them. And yeah, wow. I thought I had more done by now. Okay. Next step is probably automating that to some extent. So making sure that it does like a check every hour and then checks for any new logbooks in the last hour or something. And I will need to set up a job to just fetch the logs for like the last, I don't know, year, however far I can go back without everything crashing or just downloading too many logs. then I guess I should do that first, is set up some way to dump them into a database. Because we do want to database this stuff. So that's going to be the next little project. But I'm going to take a break first. I need to get some lunch. I've got some laundry in the laundry machine that needs to be exchanged. So I'm just going to hop off, and I'll probably be back later this afternoon. So thank you for joining me. It's been fun again, and see you guys later this afternoon, hopefully. Bye bye.